Casserole here with the Bowling Ball Diet podcast. I got a special guest with me today. It's Taco Dave, and he's from Texarkana, Texas. So, hey, Dave, how you doing today?
I'm good, Gina. I'm doing great. Out here just living my life to the fullest, doing the best I can every single day. Despite my kids, I only get them to see it once a month, but everything's going great. Just reaching for the top every single day.
So you're kind of a life coach in Texas. Do a lot of people like to strive to do better in Texas? I don't know too much because the media, they confuse me what people are like in Texas. Because sometimes they're like rodeo kings, sometimes they're oil monsters, and sometimes they're like the best musicians. I can't pinpoint what Texas is. So can you tell me if it's how you got into a spiritual path from being from Texas?
Well, in Texas, we just do things right out there. It's all about beer, barbecue, and best friends. That's what I lead my life on, and that's the networking we do out in Texas.
It's the 3 B's, right?
That's
B's, your whole tactic.
Yeah, that's a whole tactic. That's the first step in the Taco Dave Life Effectiveness Program. To get you into your life further, wherever you want to get. Say you want to be the best bowler in the world. Well, come on down to Taco Dave's Life Planning, and I'll get you the best bowling you can possibly maybe do. I mean, you probably maybe like a 119.
I grew up in a bowling alley. I'm a bowling alley family chain, and I'll get into my thing later on. But right now, I want to focus about you. So how did you get the name Taco Dave? Because I don't even know, is it because there's probably a lot of queso Daves where you're from, right?
Well, around Texas, these parts, we do eat a lot of queso and tacos. Taco is actually my birth name. That was given to me by my father. It's a family name. Everybody, and since my great-great-grandfather, he was Taco as well. And I think I'm Taco the fourth, but we're not digging that deep into my family tree. Other than are there
enchiladas to your family?
We're not all named after taco food or Mexican food for that matter. We're just good old Texas folks, and just I happen to be named Taco. And yes, my surname is Dave. My last name is Dave. That is it's just the full name there. It's an odd last name. Most people expect to be David, but no, my last name is Dave.
Yeah. Well, see, I got the same type of thing. Like a lot of my family, we come from like the Italian parts. And, we all somehow have like these pasta last names, and everybody is like, why you guys all got pasta? I'm like, why you question it? We are known for you don't question a Smith, okay? They probably were blacksmiths. We were pasta makers. I mean, what is the deal? Names are names. You probably came from a son of David and you didn't want to go by Davidson, Americanized, or got confused, So people get wacky, about things that are just so inconsequential. So when did you start doing your life coaching? Was there a trigger moment for you, or did you just have a knack for it right out the gate?
Well, ever since I was a camp counselor growing up, just taking care of kids in the summer times, and really just getting these kids just to live their life the fullest, just for 1 week at a time. They'd come stay with us out at the camp, and we'd go on the ropes course or, jump on the blob in the lake. And it dawned upon me, it's like, man, I can benefit many lives other than children,
Yeah, that sounds like a wonderful and privileged way to start out in life, just having nothing to do but play. And so I think that's also, you got the 3 B's and then you got the play part. Can you explain how you encourage people to have more play in their life?
Well, that's the second tier. Once you get those 3 B's out of the way, you got to learn to just play. That's what life's going to all be, because you're going to be punched in the face with a wife that doesn't like you anymore and sleeps with another man, and that's going to happen, and she's going to take your kids away. But then that happens, but you're not going to let that get you down. No, you can't let that get you down. You got to just keep on going and just play. You just play the best you can. That's yeah.
Yeah, I hear you, because, I was sort of a mom, not a real mom. I wasn't like a stepmom, but I had an ex, and I was with him for quite some time. And some things you don't realize how much you get taken away from you and how much you give too. And especially when kids are involved, you play. And then when the kids are gone, you're like, how do I exist? Do I read books? What do I do? How do I spend my time? Because there's not a lot of adults who want to play with you, at least without the hanky panky, But
And
there's
that's all I
nothing
want to
wrong
do.
with that,
But that's all I want to do. I just want people to get out there and just be as playful with their life as they can, whether it's a prank or just, you go down to the checkout aisle and you just make a silly joke. Give them a joke. You never know. That's playful in your own right. But yeah, I do miss my kids.
Yeah. So what kind of things do you do on a daily basis to encourage the three B's and play? Because I know that in Texas there's a big craft beer situation, but like for instance, you said that one of the turning points I read, because I did my research on you, Taco Dave, old TV, that you like got into this bar brawl, and then that's when you were like, I really gotta take stock of what I got and what I don't.
Exactly. I just everything just came crashing down, but you can't let that get you down, right? That's the third motto in the Taco Dave pyramid scheme of it. Well, it's not a pyramid scheme. It is a scheme, but it is in the shape of a pyramid as well. And you do need to get two friends involved in the program before you can really get. But yeah, beyond that, you want to just really utilize your potential with those three B's. You drinking the beer, right? You're getting all that beer in you. And once you're good and drunk, you put some barbecue on that. And some say that pushes the feelings down. What I like to think is it just sets them aside. It just puts them aside till later, until you can get to that. And for that time being, you're feeling good because you got a belly full of barbecue and beers and a bunch of good times.
And you create the ultimate B, which is the B for success, is the bond. That's what you do. You create a bond. So,
Yeah.
I heard that you throw some big parties as a way to create that. Like you have bonfires for bonds. So, can you tell us what kind of ruckuses or how you prepare for these big bonfires? And is it cost effective, or do people pay for like red solo cups, or like how do you get people to come to your events? Because you really have
Well,
a good way of drawing them in because you're pretty playful.
yeah. So here's the trick. I get them drunk first and then make them sign a contract to come to these bonfires. We call them the bonfire. Everything Bond that you can think of. We have James Bond, we have Barry Bonds, we have stocks and bonds that you can just burn right in the bonfire. All different types of bonds. And then hopefully during that bonding and barbecue and beers, you get drunk enough to give me more money. And then I will take that money and invest it back into you and to paying child support for my children.
Right. So I hear that your philosophies is a kind of combination. Like you got the bonfire thing from Tony, not Romo, but Tony. He's the really tall guy. He tells people to walk over fire. It's escaping me, but
Tony Robbins.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Tony Robbins. Have you ever gone to his sessions, or do you just follow him on YouTube, or what do you do? Like how do you get inspired to create authentic events for people? Because that probably takes a lot of energy out of you.
Most of my inspiration comes from the movie Project X and the TV show Florida Bama Shore. Just the bonds that were created in that film and that TV show just really show the South in such a great way. And the way they partied in Project X, we try to get there. But we're all mostly in our mid 30s, early 40s. Just really, really struggling. But, we have a smile on our face because we can't show that on the outside, because welcome to the South and welcome to the Taco Dave Future Betterment Program, Triple B's and Bonds.
I hear that there's some communities that are a little anti your program, like people who are very pro ayahuasca. because it's a very similar methodology that you have, but you replaced it with treats and beer, and they like to encourage people throwing up, but and having hallucinations. So can you just explain to people the differences between the experience that you get from your types of bonfires and ayahuasca stuff?
Well, the ayahuasca, as you call it, that's an entirely different thing altogether. What we're trying to bring you to is a different experience. Do you ever see that film Midsommar?
That is the one with the blonde lady that was like depressed and scared
Yeah,
in the
and
farms.
they take a lot of LSD, and that's what we do. We do a lot of LSD, a lot of acid, just straight acid. No, none of this ayahuasca. Mostly just because I don't like tea, unless it's sweet tea. I can't stand it. But other than that, yeah, just a lot of acid. Once everybody's good and drunk and full of beer and crying, we just take acid, and then some things go to the worst, and some people fall in the fire. That will happen. That's gonna happen. But you just do your best. You say stop, drop, and the third one, vomit on the fire. So that's the third one.
Yeah, you get all your toxins and your demons and the things that are holding you back out of your system. I mean, it's pretty remarkable because I've seen some of your those videos where people are saying, I went to your Taco Dave's special bonfire, and they were just very powerful statements. So can you say like where you were a couple years ago before you got to this type of place? Like what was your daily routine back in the day versus your daily routine today?
Well, not a lot has changed, except I no longer live with my wife and kids. Other than that, I wake up every day. I say my blessings to myself in the mirror. I just say it right to myself because the only way you can believe in yourself is by talking to yourself. That's what I always say. And then
Yeah.
I crack a big old egg on top of some oatmeal, and I put that in the microwave, and then I'll forget about it. I just forget about it. I just leave it in there. I don't even press start or nothing. It just stays in there for a good 2 to 3 hours. And then I drink some whey protein, which, as we all know, is like it's like crystals. We don't really know if it does anything, but it makes me feel good. It's
That's important. Most people, they tend to forget what makes you feel good, Like I learned that from Adrienne, who does yoga on the YouTube. She goes, find what feels good. She also happens to be from Texas, so it must be something in the air in Texas. But it's the mindset that some people, they just go like, this is how it's going to be. It's always going to be that way. And they're not being their number one friend, So I definitely concur with you and that thought process. So where do you think, you've been doing quite well. You've been exploding on TikTok these days. And it's like, how do you come up with these different videos of fire?
Uh, well, here's the thing: the TikTok videos have been blowing up. A lot of people think that we're some sort of just alcoholic cult. We just like to get real hammered and take acid and Texarkana, but that's not what we're there for. We're all there for healing. We all got there in our own times, in our own journeys. My journey just happens to be the leader of this group of people. And I do ask them to do what I say. It's their choice to whether they can come and go as they please. And so that's most of the TikTok popularity. People are thinking that it is a cult. It's not a cult. It is a program that you do pay money into. And then I take that money, and once again, I pay child support with it.
And it benefits people. Like the return on interest is your child safety, I heard that also you're starting to dive into not just providing these events, but also you've been starting to get into Taco Day food trucks. But tell us what kind of things you like to serve, because there's a little bit of a sermon too, because you like to think outside of the box. So, you kind of, I think I read, because like I can't go to Texas quite yet, but from what I've been told is that you kind of do like a fortune teller or fortune tell like a fortune cookie type of thing, but it's like a daily sermon. So like, can you expand upon how you are able to preach and serve food and also rally in potential, you know, Taco Day fans?
Absolutely. So what you're talking about it's like a wonton, right? It's like a you call it a fortune cookie maybe out there where you're at, but that's actually a tortilla that has been deep fried. But we put a meatball inside there. It's very confusing, and it's like a pizza ball. It's almost like a hot pocket, but a Texas version, but also not, because it's Italian in derivative, so that you might enjoy that as well. We do not serve tacos on the Taco Dave facilities around the events and
Because there's
stuff.
enough tacos in Texas.
There's enough tacos, and people do get confused. The place is called Taco Dave's, and so they do expect to see tacos. We one time experimented with nachos, and they were like, "This isn't a taco." I was like, "It's basically a taco." But they weren't happy with it. It was not very well received. We did put a lot of cabbage, and we did not include tortilla chips. So people were just like, "This is like a salad, but it's just not good." I'm like, "Yeah, we just poured hot queso on it because welcome to Texas." And then of course barbecue sauce dipping. You can just dip right in the barbecue sauce if you like. Um, what was
But
the first part
also
of that?
because it's such a long process to make, people have to talk, and then you have people from your group, and then they go ahead and they tell you, hey, we have the best barbecue. This is a small, enticing thing. We come to the thing, it'll be fun. It's great. You know, that's what I hear. Like, I'm looking forward to seeing that. So, how many events? Because I know the pandemic, you probably were surprised how little it shut you down, because you were able to keep it going. So can you tell us how you were able to stay through to your focus of keeping Taco Dave's bonds, going?
Well, as we all know, the pandemic hit everyone hard. We did not see any of that. A lot of people sought refuge at these parties, and they really just honed in on the beer drinking part of the bees to start. That's how you really enter the program, and that costs at least $2,000 to start, and I was wondering, like, where were these people getting this money from? And it's just like, oh, we can afford it because of NFTs, and I don't even know what that is, but it sounds really neat. It just
A lot of banking and science, it sounds like. It's too
oh, I thought
futuristic for me. But speaking of futures, what is your game plan for the future? Like, how are you future planning, or you're just kind of, I don't make plans, I live in a moment. Like, how do you try to stay optimistic through difficult times or looking forward to good times?
well, in the near future, we are starting our own social media platform, the Taco Dave social media platform. It's going to be for everybody, but mostly for people that just are looking to be their best selves, despite anything that's happened in the past with their ex-wife and Frank. That's who she cheated on me with. But that's not here nor there. What we're doing here with the Taco Dave social media platform, you can connect with other people in the Texarkana region. It is only just in the Texarkana region right now. It's not going to be a widespread social media app until we can reach out further and further. Thanks to TikTok, we are getting more people from Arkansas and Oklahoma as well. It's surprisingly a lot of people from Oklahoma. It's not, we don't like them in Texas really, Oklahomans, but we'll let them in. They can come.
It's got a lot to do with the Dust Bowl stuff, I think,
yeah, and it's
Like the
mostly
dust hasn't
because
quite settled, from the history. That's
exactly.
that's what I think. But I mean, I'm no Southwestern expert. But so I just wanted to know what keeps you motivated besides just your kids, because I mean, you're probably a fully functional person outside of your kids. You gotta have to be ramped up to have all these parties and ascertain all these different types of drugs and booze and beer. So you probably are on the go all the time.
Yeah, it's nonstop. I sleep about 30 seconds a day, um, just real quick, standing up, usually leaning against a wall, but if there's no wall, I make do. Because that's what it takes, to become great and remind my ex-wife that she's not better than me, and I am a man and stuff like that she called me in the divorce. But the way to get there is by never stopping. We learned that from the movie Pop Star. It's just like once you stop, you're stopping, and stopping isn't a part of the program. You're supposed to keep doing the program and keep giving me money because I once again have to pay child support.
Right, which is like basically almost like a GoFundMe, but everybody gets to have fun in the process of it, So I appreciate you and your time. Your methodologies are just inspirational to me because it's like just because you're down doesn't mean that you can't get up, and that's pretty neat. So is there any like type of special message you want to leave to my audience, or is there any type of way that what is your best philosophy? I know you're probably reiterating the fact is, you're Taco Dave, Mr. Fun Guy, but please, I don't want to speak for you more than I should.
Oh no, you're doing great, and thanks again for having me on the show. It's been a real pleasure, and to just get my message out there. I just want to say hi to Taco Dave the Fifth, my son, and Braylon Tinley Dave as well. It's just Daddy's doing it for you, and the only motivation I need is them, and then a lot of LSD and beer to really just get through the sad days.
Okay, that's great. That's so great, and I just think that good things are in your path because you create your own path and you're a leader, and that's pretty neat. And I just want to say thank you once again, and thank you everybody for listening. Taco Dave, do you have any other big brouhahas that are coming up like this summer? I heard that you have like a whopper of a one coming up, right?
Oh yeah, the end of August. It's called the Pandemic Party Part 2. Everybody's invited. We're gonna be all just like we did last year, last August when we had this event again, but just bigger and better. We have Tommy Lee and Smash Mouth all coming together to play for this event, and
a hot air balloon ride that's meant
exactly
for people, which is like I mean I'm watching your videos as you build the basket, and I'm just like, wow, this guy just keeps.
This year we built a Zeppelin, so we're pretty excited about the Zeppelin.
Yeah, I mean also to just get the canisters for that gas, that's wow, pretty impressive.
It's a lot of gas.
Yeah, because everyone's gonna have a good time. So thanks everybody for checking out the Bowling Ball Diet Podcast with Taco Dave, and I've been Gina Casserole. Stay blessed.